Magandang umaga po mga kaibigan. Isa sa pinaka magandang talakayan ngayon ay ang tungkol sa halalan. Alam po ninyo, hindi pa man sumasapit ang 2015, marami na pong nananaginip na maging Pangulo, maging Senador, maging pangalawang Pangulo. At kung minsan naman yung Pangulo nagkakaroon ng mispronunciation o typo, nagiging panggulo. Pero hindi ho yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon sapagkat tayo naniniwala na ang halalan ang isang equalizer. Ito yung dahilan upang maging pantay ang mayayaman at mahihirap, pati po yung mga kabataang dinadala sa resort pag dumadalaw ang Santo Papa. Pero be that as it may, kung sumakay daw ng Cebu Pacific ang Santo Papa, maaring narito pa siya ngayon at kasama pa natin at masaya rin yung mga dinala sa resort sa Nasugbo. Pero ngayong araw na ito, pag-uusapan natin, anong aasahan natin sa darating na halalan sapagkat maraming mga nagdududa sa mga nakalipas na halalan. Ito raw ba dahilan sa hocus picus? Ito raw ba dahilan sa CF cards? Ito raw ba dahilan sa maling pagbibilang? Yung ba maayos na pagbibilang o inayos na pagbibilang? Ito bang panaginip mauwi sa bangungot ng bayan? Kasama po natin si Bishop Roderick Pabilio. Narito rin po si Ginoong Dave Diwan ng National Labor Union. Narito rin po naman si Attorney Melchor Magdamo at si Attorney Glenn Chong. Itong dalawang abogadong ito, sabi nila pareho silang walang trabaho, pero nakangiti naman Kaya I don't think apektado sila na wala silang trabaho. Simulan natin ang ating talakayan. May mga dalubhasa pang darating ngayong umaga. Bishop, anong tingin ninyo sa sistema ng Commission on Elections? Are we on the right track or are we going nowhere?
Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Gusto ko munang klaruhin ang iyong tanong. Sistema ba ng Commission on Election or sistema ng itong automatic election? Katanong nyo.
Doon tayo sa automated election dahil sabi, tuloy pa rin yun.
Iyan, alam nyo po, ngayong CBCP meeting last week, may mga 25 bishops ang lumagda sa isang pahayag na ibinigay namin sa COMELEC. Bawat commissioner binigyan namin. At dito po ay inilagay na namin ng 25 bishops na ito ang aming mga iniisip. Una sa lahat, yung nagdududa kami, bakit ang bilis-bilis ng pag-approve nitong resolution nila na kunin ang Smartmatic. No, at mga unholy hour pa, December 23, December 29, na dapat bakasyon na, ba't ang bilis-bilis? So yan, it would smell of something na minadali. No? At pangalawa, nananawagan kami na sa mga may 3 commissioner na magre-retire na, aalis na sa COMELEC ngayong simula ng February, antayin na lang yon bago magdesisyon talaga sa Smartmatic. No, mabilis magdesisyon at pagkatapos aalis na yung 3. No, but parang mga in fairness, parang delicacy para delikadesa para sa lahat na sana naman yung susunod na ang gagawa nun. Hindi nila masasabi na kulang na sa oras. Kasi noong 2010, mas kulang sa oras, July na na-approve. 2013 ay March na na-approve. Ito, February, ma-approve na yan kung talagang tututukan nila. At tapos, isa pang panawagan, nasundin natin ang batas sa AES. May batas tayo at may mga safeguards nandun. Ay dapat sundin yan. No, hindi laktawan yung mga safeguards. So, yan yung aming yan yung aming concern sa darating na election ngayon.
Opo. For the record, we invited the Honorable Chairman Sixto S. Brillantes to join us. And former Ambassador Henrietta Tita de Villa of PPCRV to join us in our discussion. Kaya lang ang problema, hindi nakarating si Chairman Brillantes at si dating Ambassador de Villa. Tila may conflict sa schedule. Kung anong schedule, hindi ko po alam. Pero ang pagkakasabi, may courtesy call daw ngayon sa COMELEC. Okay, Bishop, balikan ko lang. Ibig niyo bang sabihin, parang merong golden parachute involved dun sa deal sa Smartmatic?
Hindi namin alam kung yan ay golden parachute, no? Pero ang kwan lang namin ay nakakaduda. At ganun din po, sinabi din namin dito na parang ang laki para lang i-diagnose yung mga machines, 300 million. Ang kwan sa Smartmatic, napakalaki. So, we didn't conclude anything. Kayo na lang ang mag-conclude doon.
Na ganun. Parang medyo tagilid pa yun. Pero, Attorney Chong, how do you look at all these events today?
Melo, magandang umaga at sa inyong lahat. Unang-una, let me go back to kanina. The fact that Chairman Brillantes and Ambassador Henrita de Villa were invited. Natandaan ko ho, pag si Chairman Brillantes kaharap ang media, ang palaging sinasabi niya, wala silang ebidensya. Kami raw wala kaming ebidensya. Pag media ang kaharap niya. Nung kami ho nagharap nung January 12, tinanong ko ho siya, anong nangyari doon sa ebidensyang pinapakita ko sa inyo? Ang sagot naman ho niya, ako na. Sabi niya, wala na kaming time mag-imbestiga. Ang dami naming ginagawa. Kaya I'm not surprised if Chairman Brillantes na will not come. Nandito kami. We face the public and the media without fear. Kasi alam namin kung anong pinagsasabi namin. But it's noteworthy that Chairman Brillantes and Ambassador Henrita de Villa did not even send a representative. If they're really interested to settle this issue, these nagging issues, once and for all before the next elections, this is a good way. This is a good forum. Kaya nga ho, dala-dala ko yung ebidensya.
Anong ebidensya pala yan?
Actually, okay, sige. Not all naman siguro. Unang-una, tingnan muna natin yung sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes na lahat ng election returns may digital signature. Nandun ho ako sa oral argument sa Supreme Court. Nililito-lito nga lang nila si Justice, I forgot the name, Justice Carpio. Sinabi nila, yung I-button, yun ang digital signature. But kung titingnan nyo itong audit log report from Surigao del Norte, hindi ko na ho dinala yung sa Biliran, tsaka sa Taguig. Surigao del Norte, 2013 elections ho. Makikita ho ninyo dito, nakalagay, generating EML results file. Ito yung pag-generate ng results. Electronic Machine Language Results File. The next step, it said, no BEI keys with which to sign the results. Then the next step, about to transmit file, CF flash restaurants file. So ibig sabihin, at the point of transmission, sinabi ng PICOS, there is no BEI key with which to sign the results. So anong digital signature ang pinagsasabi ni Chairman Brillantes? Galing to sa kanila eh. These are audit log reports from the PICOS. All of this. So ang ibig kong sabihin, lahat ng electronic results were transmitted without digital signatures. Kung mangyari ho, may nagpadala ng ibang resulta like what happened in Biliran na 7%, 2 beses nagpadala ng resulta. But the problem is, yung pangalawang result was transmitted at the time the PICOS was already shut down. The question now is, saan galing yung pangalawang resulta? Because the PICOS can be established, wala nang PICOS, na-shut down na siya. Bakit may resulta from that time on doon sa munisipyo? At kung titingnan natin yung dalawang resulta, hindi mo makikita, hindi mo ma-detect kung alin ang tama, alin ang hindi, because there's no digital signature. That's the importance of digital signature. Pangalawa, sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes, yung digital image. Alam nyo, ang PICOS kasi nagse-selfie. Bawat balota na pumapasok, nagpipicture siya. Ito yung original, ito yung selfie. This was the ballots of Brother Eddie Villanueva. Yung 88 votes na hindi tugma. Wala. Kasi kung titingnan nyo, may shade dito sa original for Brother Eddie. May shade sa original. Pero dito sa selfie, walang shade si Brother Eddie. Kaya kulang. Ito yung pinagmamalaki ni Chairman Brillantes, yung selfie niya. Pero kung titingnan ho ninyo yung dalawang shade ng original shade at yung shade dito, etong dalawa, hindi ho magkapareho yan eh. Kahit anong pang tingin niyo dyan, hindi ho magkapareho ang original at ang ballot image niya. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Brillantes has been deceiving the whole country all along since 2010 until now. At kaya gusto kong ipasagot yan kay Mr. Brillantes, paano mo sasabihin na ang selfie mong ito, totoo, is the exact reproduction of the original. Na yung original, dalawa yung shade, pagdating sa selfie, isa na lang. Meron ho bang selfie na nakangiti kayo? Paglabas ng picture, nakasimangot na. O ito, sige, sabihin natin, dalawa ang ngipin dito sa original. Bakit isa na lang ngipin dito sa selfie? Meant to explain it in a way that's understood by the people. Hindi totoo yung sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes na you can rely. Ito yung another picture of the original ballot and the ballot image. Hindi nga sila tugma. Yan ang ibig namin isabing ebidensya. Sagutin nyo yan. Kasi hindi pwedeng, you will just simply dismiss us imperiously without showing proof that we are wrong. Because we have shown prima facie evidence that the PICOs actually are laden with a lot of discrepancies. Ito, this is a picture of a whiteboard containing an instruction kung paano gumawa ng ballot image. If you look at this highlighted picture, sinabi, view ballots created. Bakit tayo mag-view ng ballots created? Unless you're going to check it. And at the bottom, nakalagay, create election files. Bakit tayo mag-create ng election files? Di ba sa PICOS yan? I'll turn this over to you, sir, so you can take a look at that picture. Ito naman. Ito yung ballot image niya. Ito yung selfie. This line is the one that causes the PICOS to vote, even if it was not voted for. Ito, walang binoto to na senador. Walang binoto dito. Pero pag tiningnan nyo sa likod, 8 senador ang binoto niya. 8 senador ang binoto niya. Now, ito yung sinasabi kong basis namin. This is a revision summary doon sa election protest. Sa COMELEC mismo, of the 14,568 votes in this precinct, 3,801 were affected by that line. That's 26.1%. So ngayon, ang tanong, sinong nanalo noong 2013 elections? If one precinct, 26.1% ang apektado, at sasabihin ni Chairman Brillantes, pa-isa-isa lang yan. Hindi ho pa-isa-isa lang yan. Marami ho ito. These are all ballot images from one precinct. Showing na...
From one precinct.
One precinct. Precinct 193, Barangay Talima, Lapu-Lapu City. Meron pa ho kami. Precinct 67 also, Barangay Abukain, Lapu-Lapu City. We have in Balamban. We have in Asturias, all in Cebu. We also have 5 in Northern Samar. Out of 25 protested precincts, 5 ang apektado.
You think all this that you're showing us could severely affect election results?
Yes, sir. If only one precinct will show you 26.1% of all votes were affected by the hundreds who ang binawas at dinagdag sa mga konsihal. Ang congressman dito, binawasan ho ng 147 votes.
At yung 147 votes na yun may be significant.
Yes, it can be significant because in this city, 2 presinto ang napakita namin. And these are only what is shown sa protest. Hindi pa natin binilang yung hindi prinotesta. That when we count them, it would have significantly affected the results of the elections. Now ngayon, sino makapagsabi that we can trust the result of the elections 100%?
Okay, medyo controversial to. Pero Bishop, babalikan kita. Sa pinakita ni Attorney Chong, how do you assess all this?
Kaya nga dapat yan ay sagutin. Kasi kung hindi sasagutin yan, ipagpapatuloy yan sa 2016. So they cannot just brush it off, no, na gano'n ang mga protesta. Kasi ang mahalaga rin dito, yung trust ng tao. No, kung na hindi dapat mawala ang trust ng tao, kahit na nagdaya o hindi, ang trust ng tao sana'y nandiyan at malalagay lamang yung trust ng tao kung ay yung mga protestang yan ay talagang sinasagot isa-isa. No, and not just to say na walang ebidensya, na pareho na yung mga grupong yan, wala naman nangyari dyan. So yun ay dapat talagang, for the sake sana ang COMELEC, ay talagang pag-aralan niya.
Yeah. Attorney Magda mo, Mel, how long have you been with the Commission on Elections?
Since 2008.
2008. And then, tapos, ano na nangyari?
Actually, nag-tender ako ng resignation sa COMELEC noong 2010. Until today, my resignation has not yet been accepted. No? So, hindi ko alam ano yung status ko. No? But anyway, tuloy-tuloy yung advocacy.
Pero sumusweldo ka pa.
Hindi na po, hindi na po.
Hindi, iba kasing bagay yun pag sumusweldo ka, ha? O kaso yan.
Ito tinatanggap.
Hindi mo tinatanggap. Maliwanag yan. Pero anong tingin mo sa kultura ng COMELEC? Bakit kailangang deny to death na lang? Na sabi pa isa-isa yan, wala naman kayo ebidensya. What could have brought them to that kind of thinking?
Sa sobrang laki ng pera na pinamimigay kaliwat kanan, talagang mabubulag ang mga karamihan sa taga-COMELEC. Hindi po lahat, no? Pero karamihan na matataas ang rango. Sa sobrang laki ng pabaon, pasalubong at kung ano-ano pa, talagang mabubulag at mabibingi sa boses ng bayan.
Hindi, pero saan ang gagaling yun?
Doon mismo, sa halimbawa, sa contract na 300 million for diagnostics. Ako, I would dare say, wala pa sa kalahati nun ng tunay eh. Puro kickback na yun, more than half. More than half ang kickback doon. May column ba yan, expert of the COMELEC Advisory Council mismo ang nag-compute na times ang computation niya is times parang 25% lang ang tunay doon eh. Ang lumalabas per PICOS 4,000 pesos eh. Whereas ang diagnostics noon ay 500 pesos lang on the average.
Ganon.
Ganon kalaki po ang kickbackan doon. So doon mismo sa pera ng gobyerno, yung binayad ng taong bayan, kukunin sa kickbacks ko kinukuha yung mga perang kaya ayaw makinig sa taong bayan dahil nga bayad na sa sobrang lakas, sa sobrang laki, sa sobrang silaw sa salapi.
Wow. Mula sa hanay ng mga manggagawa, kasama ka rin dito, Dave. Anong tingin ninyo rito?
Actually, nagiging papel namin, kami nagiging mukha. No? Kami nagiging mukha. Magandang umaga muna, Bishop. Salamat sa invitation. Kami ay nagiging mukha ng mga iba-ibang pananaw na itinatapon ngayon sa COMELEC particularly. No? Kaya kami nagiging mukha dahil kami ang pumupunta sa kalsada, kami naglulunsad ng mga pagkilos para makadagdag doon sa mga ginagawa nila. Itong dalawang katabi ko, mga abogado ito, no? Hindi simpleng abogado, no? Marami silang sinasabi on the legal side, may mga hindi dumating baka mamaya si Mr. Celis sa technical side, yung mga digital signatures na yan, yung mga source code na yan. Of course, the moral issue of the entire thing is being articulated by the church. No? So, nandyan lahat yan. Ang trabaho namin ngayon, sinupin lahat yan at ibaba sa tao. Katulad ngayon, mag-iisang linggo na kami nandun ngayon sa harap ng COMELEC mismo, nag-camp out kami ron. No? Maraming organisasyon na nandun, manggagawa, urban poor, professionals, kababaihan, environmental groups, nandun ngayon, nagkakampo ngayon doon para maipakita hindi lamang sa COMELEC, hindi lamang sa gobyerno, kundi sa buong mamamayan na may problema talagang mabigat. Ano? May mga obispo rin na nandun, nagpamisa kami doon. No? Tuloy-tuloy ito ng mga ganitong pagkilos. No? So, ibang organization pumupunta sa ibang mga probinsya na katulad ng grupo ni na Attorney Chong. No? So, ganun ang gawain namin dito ngayon. Sa halin ng mga magagawa, i-translate into simple terms yung mga issues na hinaharap ng bayan, particularly sa COMELEC. Smartmatic. So, diretso na kami. Junk Smartmatic, blacklist Smartmatic. Automated election, yes, provided, nasabi nga ni Bishop, sundin yung batas, sundin yung safeguards, ilagay lahat yan, at magiging maayos yung halalan, maayos ang bilangan, at hindi maging bangungot para sa bayan.
So, Dave, may posibilidad ng isang kandidato mananalo sa eleksyon pero hindi sa bilang.
Marami. Actually, marami. Ang problema natin ngayon, pag nagprotesta siya, wala siyang mapupuntahan eh. Ito, number one na example, si Congressman Chong, no? Ang tinalo niya, talagang matinding politiko sa bayan nila, si mga Espina, no? Pero ito, hirap na hirap kasi kung wala kang babalikan na di katulad dati pag manual, pwede mo buksan yung ballot box, makikita mo. Ngayon, wala eh. Unang-una pa, hindi nila pinabubuksan. Ito ang masakit dito ngayon, itong refurbishment na sinasabi, repair, Smartmatic na naman. Bakit? Ang tingin namin dyan, ayaw nila pabuksan sa ibang mga provider, ibang mga vendors, that makikita na walang laman talaga yung mga makina na yan, mga PICOS machines na yan eh. So, maraming kandidato na in fairness, na ihalal daw, pero hindi katulad yung lumalabas 60-30-10, hindi nakapagbigay ng comfort sa mga mamamayan na legitimately elected. At ang masakit dito ngayon, ang sinasabi ng mga expert, the 2010, 2013 elections was not conducted in a fair, accurate, and legitimate manner. Mabigat yun.
Yung 2010 elections?
Kasama yun.
Pinagdududahan niyo yung pagwawagi ng presidente natin?
Marami ng, ang sabi ko nga kami, boses lang kami, no? Kami sa mga manggagawa, nakasalalay kami dun sa mga eksperto, no? So marami namang nagpatunay na niyan. Si Atty. Chong, sa isang maliit na bagay, may bayan, meron na siya mga proof dyan, no? Precisely that has been said by a number of computer experts, no, that the 2010 election is generally not characterized by irregular
By
events,
irregularities.
irregularities, no? Kaya that brings the conclusion that not only the president but all of those that have been elected in that election, including 2013, are not really validly elected by the people. Yun ang kaya tama yung tanong mo, ano ito, bangungot ba ito nangyayari sa ating bayan? Maayos ba yung bilangan? Magiging malinis ba ang ating halalan? Dito tayo natatakot ngayon sa 2016 ang haharapin natin. Same people, same machines will be used in 2016. No?
Okay.
So yun.
Maganda to. Glenn, sabi mo wala kang babalikan kung magpoprotesta ka. Is it because walang mga dokumentong available dun sa automated election system?
Ganito ho yan, sir. The audit log reports and the MBOC print logs, these are the two main documents that you need to get. It just so happened noong 2010, nakuha to ng mga tao sa biliran. They were the one who actually forced the election officers to certify them as true copies. Kaya hindi nakakalusot ang COMELEC. Kasi the evidence is certified true copy. Wala silang lusot doon eh. Kaya hindi sila sinasagot. I submitted a summary again to the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on the 2010 elections. And one of these is yung 7 presinto na 2 beses nagpadala ng resulta. In this particular case, yung unang resulta was at 1:55 a.m. Yung pangalawang resulta was at 3:41 a.m. Nung tiningnan namin yung audit log report ng PICOS, nakatsaad doon, naka-turned off na siya at 3:08 a.m. Eh bakit may resulta at 3:41 a.m.? That's very clear. Kaya nga ho, hindi sinasagot ng COMELEC kasi walang lusot. Certified true copy ang dokumento. I remember, nung pinakita ni Governor Manny Piñol nung resulta ng eleksyon niya sa North Cotabato, ang nakalagay doon, República de la Colombia. Alam sabi ni Chairman Brillantes, ay hindi certified true copy yan. Ayon, walang magawa si
It's a
Governor.
brilliant argument.
Yes, it's a brilliant argument, but hindi siya lulusot doon sa amin kasi certified true copy. Kaya ang maganda, tikong bibig na lang, wag nang sagutin. Kasi wala naman talaga silang lulusot doon. Now, going back, doon sa protesta ko, nagprotesto kami pero hindi ho dinesisyonan ng HRET. So, they decided it at the last day. So, ito, uulitin ko, nung sinabi ko kay Kabayan Noli Di Castro, anong nangyari? 1 week before that date, kinausap ko yung isang member ng HRET, congressman, dyan sa isang Japanese restaurant sa EDSA Shangri-La. 9 or 9:30 ng gabi, 4 kami on the table. Ang sinabi niya, kung may pag-asa ka pa dahil yung kalaban mo hindi pa binigay yung prenami sa amin. Oh, I stand by what I said now. So anong klaseng protesta magpo-prosper under this system? Anong klaseng
okay.
protesta magpo-prosper under this system?
So may pag-asa pa pala. Pero hindi ka nagbigay.
Wala na ho akong ibigay. Hindi
dahil
na
kung
naman ako
nagbigay-
kumita doon eh.
Dahil kung nagbigay ka, at least they will decide on the merits.
In fairness, the chairman of the HRET dissented and sided with me. Because it's very clear, 4,281 voters were allowed to vote after 7 p.m. Nung tiningnan namin kung saan yung 4,281, 211 names lang ang nandun. And I lost only by a mere 361 votes. Ang eleksyon namin umabot hanggang 12 noon ng May 11, 2010. So there, on that score alone, ibig sabihin, kahit automated election, pwede hong dayain.
Teka muna, anong partido mo?
No, dati ho ako Liberal Party.
Hindi, nung kumandidato kayo, liberal.
No. Nung una kong kandidato, 2007, Liberal ho ako.
Tapos?
Nung 2010 ho, inipit ho yung 5 kong bills. Those were high schools na gusto kong ipatayo. So lumipat ho ako sa ruling party.
At ang ruling party ay,
Lakas.
nawalan kayo ng lakas. Ayun, that
Di
explains.
bali na. Di bali na ho, sir. Basta yung paaralan ko natayo. Di bali na ho. Basta yung paaralan ko natayo.
Okay, Bishop, please, Bishop.
Ito po yung problema sa ating sa election natin, automated. Una sa lahat, mahirap maintindihan ng common tao mga technical na mga bagay. So mahirap na masakyan, maintindihan. Pangalawa, hindi naman interesado ang ating mga sitting officials ngayon na talagang suriin yan kasi madadamay sila. No, kaya pati yung investigation sa Congress, hindi naman talaga sila interesadong hanapin yan. Kasi tatamaan sila kung makita na may mali pala. No, at ganun din sa 2010 elections. Ang problema niyan, dahil sa hindi nila sinusuri at ayaw nilang talagang to bite the bullet, ay tutuloy-tuloy yan. 2016, ganun din at susunod-sunod. Kaya dapat may panahon na sasabihin natin, whatever happens, ayusin natin ito kaagad. O kung hindi, palitan na ang sistema.
Maganda ito. We will open the floor to our friends from the media. Baka may tanong na
Melo,
sina Leslie. Yes, please.
If I may add ho nung sinabi ni Bishop Pabilio, this is very telling. On December 10, 2013, nandun si Mel Magdamo, nandun ako. Nung lumabas yung digital line na ni-report ng Technical Evaluation Committee ng Department of Science and Technology, etong sabi ni Chairman Coco Pimentel, si Brillantes dyan sa tapat. Chairman, anong masasabi mo? I was right behind Brillantes. Ang sagot niya ganito, nanalo na tayo. Doon ibig sabihin, you shut up, kaya nanalo ka na. If only to illustrate yung sinabi ni Bishop Pabilio.
Okay, masaya ito. O baka po may tanong na yung mga kasama natin sa media. Sige, simulan na. Ladies first.
Tess Ramiro po, good morning from the Catholic Media Network. Although I also represent another NGO. Kay Congressman, given all the evidences that you have, anong pwedeng gawin para mapanagutin ang mga officials na dapat managot sa klaseng pagnanakaw at pandaraya na ginagawa?
Ma'am, if we really have to look at it, wala ho tayong pag-asa if we go by the normal process
Procedures,
like Joint Congressional Oversight Committee. Dahil doon din ho, wala ho talagang nangyayari. And we have been fighting our way in para lang ho, somehow, they will be made accountable for this. Sa pagkakalam ko, we have 12 pending cases before the Ombudsman, the Supreme Court. Ayon sa Ombudsman ho, may electoral sabotage against the Melo Commission.
Oh.
Pero wala hong nangyari hanggang ngayon, since 2010 pa ho yun. Sa Supreme Court, we lost 1 or 2 cases, but most of them are still pending, including ho yung final ko. Kami ni Mel, we filed annulment of the 2013 senatorial elections on those grounds. Wala hong nangyayari, ma'am.
So which means, from your point of view, ano ang pwedeng magawa at anong dapat gawin to put a stop to all this?
Ganito ho yung pag-iisip ko po. The Comelec will not be so brazen to ram the PICOs down our throats unless they are relying on someone mightier than they are. Meron talaga sila, nakasandal yan sila sa pader eh. Now the question is, in this country, who holds the ultimate sovereignty? The people has the absolute sovereign power in their hands. And the only option that we have is to go to the streets kung hindi ho sila makikinig sa atin. And this is exactly what Dave Diwa, Sina Calion, C3A, NTC, Tandem are all there, and all the other groups, because wala ho talaga tayong pag-asa, believe me. And the bigger danger ho, ito ho ang kinatatakutan ko. Yung sinabi ni Professor Hector Barrios, you were there, di ba, Bishop, na kung mag-transcend yung pera-pera lang, yung bayad, yung sinabi kong si Louis Vuitton lady, ang tumanggap ho nun si Louis Vuitton boy eh. Oh. Hindi ba nag-debate kami ni James Jimenez ng DZMM? Alam naman pala niya si Louis Vuitton lady. Kinonfirm niya yun eh. Kilala ko yan eh. Kung alam mo naman pala, baka ikaw yung si Louis Vuitton boy. Kasi ang tumanggap sa Louis Vuitton lady, mayroong Louis Vuitton boy. Hindi sabi niya, hindi na raw bumalik, dapat mag-imbestiga kayo. But the problem is, palagi nilang sinasabi, nag-iimbestiga sila. Pero kung tatanong tayo, nasaan yung report ninyo? Walang maipapakita ang COMELEC because in the first place, they didn't really investigate. They simply deflected the argument. Ang kinatatakutan ko ho is baka pagkatapos ng pera-pera, we will get to be controlled by narco-politics, which is a very real danger. Every Filipino must be ready to stand up against.
Okay. Let's have the opening statements of Dr. Nelson Celis, technical man. How technical is the PICOS now? Can the PICOS be controlled by a satellite? Oh, yeah.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning, Melo. It can be controlled by satellite. Of course, remotely by the operators. And there was this challenge, remember, by Chairman Brillantes to have a demonstration on to tamper the PICOS machines. This is a challenge to former COMELEC Commissioner Gus Lagman. And COMELEC Chairman Gus Lagman accepted the challenge. But he said that let's do this with the presence of the Smartmatic programmer so that Gus Lagman would be able to instruct the programmer to do what the PICOS machine should do. And that is a way of tampering the results of the PICOS machines. But it is not necessary to do that. There are evidences that would show that there were tampered results in the past elections. In fact, before the elections in 2010, there was this final testing and sealing of the 76,000 PICOS machines. That was on May 3. That was on May 3, 2010. So what was the result or results of the final testing and sealing nationwide? So the manual count, this is using 10 ballots per precinct to test the PICOS machines. What were the results? The manual count differed from the PICOS count. So that was already a proof of the tampered results. And what did the COMELEC do? They recalled all the 76,000 PICOS machines. But mind you, those 76,000 PICOS machines were certified and tested by the Technical Evaluation Committee. So that was headed by the Department of Science and Technology. So they were saying that the machines were 99.995%. But how come COMELEC recalled all those 76,000 CF cards or the compact flash cards? Remember what happened in Makati? A typical example. The votes of Binay and Mercado were reflected in the votes of Genuino. But in the manual count, you would see the true counts of Binay, Mercado, and Genuino. And this happened nationwide. That's why COMELEC decided to recall all the 76,000 CF cards. And the Department of Science and Technology said those were tested and certified 99.995%. So there's a conflict between the certification of the DOST and what really happened on May 3. So the manual count differed from the PICOS count. And if you're going to look into the general instructions of COMELEC, you would not see there a procedure that when the count differs, the manual count differs from the PICOS count, you have to recall or change the CF card. There is no such procedure or guideline in the general instructions of COMELEC. And the legislators, I'm sorry, didn't bother to question why did COMELEC recall all the 76,000 CF cards. So there was none in the general instruction. There was no question about the recalling by the legislators from the Senate and the House. Even the JCOC didn't even bother to question or ask, why did you do that? The Department of Science and Technology was saying it's 99.99%, and now you're recalling it. So it's a real proof of tampering. So that's why I think Chairman Brillantes was afraid to have the actual demonstration because it really happened. Even before the actual elections on May 10, 2010, the first infamous proof of the defective automated election system of Smartmatic. And if you have if you want to see more of this happening, you can check the YouTube, the Hacking Democracy. There is at least a 7-minute video there, Hacking Democracy. You would see there how an insider would be able to change the results of the PICOS machine. So that's also a proof. Even I challenged James Jimenez, if that Hacking Democracy documentary film is a fake or not. So he was not able to answer me back. So, ladies and gentlemen, PICOS machines could be tampered by the insider.
But also by the outsider.
No, it's very, very difficult for a hacker outside or externally doing it because it might take time to really examine and study the nitty-gritty of the program. It's really the insider that could do that.
Okay. So yung mga nag-ayos ng CF cards nung 2010, pwedeng yun na yung nagbenta nung 2013?
Yes, that's a big, big possibility. And by the way, the recalling of the 76,000 CF cards should have undergone testing again. But there was no testing and there was no certification. And it was very, very impossible to recall all the 76,000 cards to COMELEC in 1 week's time and bring it back to the precincts.
Yes.
And then test and certify. That's why we at the Philippine Computer Society lodged a petition to the Supreme Court to postpone the elections at least several weeks to test the veracity or the accuracy of the PICOS machines. But the Supreme Court said, we're not the trier of facts. You better go to COMELEC, and then if you're denied, then come back to us.
And
But it
then you
happened
didn't have
already.
time already.
Yeah, no more time because it's only 1 week. May 3 up to May 10. That's only 1 week window.
Yes. Holiday pa, yung May 10. Anyway, tuloy tayo sa discussions. Maganda tong pinag-uusapan na ito. Pero, Mel, sa tingin mo ba merong mga nanalo roon sa senatorial elections na pinapanalo na lang para wag na lang mag-ingay at wag nang questionin yung results ng election?
Kung i-analyze yung statistics ng 60-30-10, yes. The answer to that is yes. In comparison with yung mga hindi natin inaasahan na matutuklasan, katulad ng kunyari, yung sa Nueva Ecija. Etong 60-30-10, as early as 2013, pinaputok na yan ni Professor Lex Muga.
Aha.
Tapos wala kaming independent evidence na to support it. Tapos biglang dumating na hindi yung mga evidence volunteer by some idealistic people. Pero hindi namin mailabas dahil ayaw bigyan ng immunity. Tapos here comes these cases in Nueva Ecija na court cases to, final doon by the supporters of Brother Eddie Villanueva. Binigyan ng COMELEC ang chance to participate in that case in Gapan, Branch 34 under Judge Celso Baguio. Dinicide itong civil case number 4378-13, Municipal Election Register versus Aranas et al. Mga involving one candidate only. Pero ang natuklasan, the entire lineup ng Senado, natuklasan, it confirmed the 60-30-10 theory.
Aha. Na yung 60% administration, 30 yung opposition, at yung 10% yung kinikilalang buraot, yung mga kung saan nagmula. Tama, parang ganun nga yata yun. Now, we have questions from the floor, aside from Tess. From our friends from Comelec Beat. Do we have questions there? Sige, tuloy tayo sa discussions kung wala pa. Pero, Bishop, paano yun? Kung hanggang ngayon, hindi mo naaayos yung problema ng PICOS, pagkatapos election na tayo sa 2016, ano mangyayari? Sino-sinong cartoon characters ang mananalo?
Kaya nga ngayon pinag-uusapan ng mga tao sino ba ang pwede maging presidente, sino ba ang mga senatoriables, pero that will be useless. Kahit na mapumili pa tayo na maayos sa tao, pagkatapos yan, ang magdi-decide umapla, hindi yung tao. Kaya pati na sa amin sa simbahan, alam naman natin na tuwing election, mayroon kaming voters education, sinasabi natin na pumili kayo ng maayos, ng mga hindi kayo magpapabili ng boto. Pero kung gano'n naman pala, bakit pa magbo-voters education? No, ba't para pipili tayo ng maayos na mga kandidato? Hindi naman alam kung talaga siya gusto ng tao. No? Kaya parang sayang ang lahat ng trabaho natin. Kaya sana lahat ng ating attention dapat ay nandito sa PICOS. No, sa Smartmatic na maayos yan. And then we can have a hope of a better election later on with better candidates. Kasi kung hindi, walang mangyayari.
I remember interviewing then British ambassador to the Philippines, si Ambassador Lily. Natanong ko siya, kayo sa Great Britain, gumagamit ba kayo ng mga PICOS machine? Sabi niya, hindi Dahilan sa, ang pangamba namin, baka, sabi niya, baka mapasukan ng mga ibang espiritu, magkaiba-iba yung election results. Pero mukhang ganun nga nangyari sa atin. Dahil sabi niya, meron ikang ilang mga bansa na dating may ganyang makina, pero umalis na rin. Kinalimutan yun. Would you know of countries which shifted from automated to non-automated elections? Please, Dr. Celis?
Germany, and then the newest one is, or the latest one is Australia. Di ba?
Ayaw na nila.
Yeah. So we in IceWatch, in other watchdogs, we were recommending that we should have a manual count or public counting, not secret counting, but automated transmission and automated canvassing and consolidation. That's what we are advocating right now. But if Comelec would insist to use PICOS machines, we should have a parallel manual count. No? That's being done during the final testing and sealing. There is a manual count, and there is the PICOS count comparison. So these are two workable solutions that can happen in 2016.
Okay. Bishop, let me ask you this. Coming from the church, how would the ordinary Filipino distinguish a watchdog from a lapdog? I guess we should be clear about this.
Okay nga, ibig sabihin yung watchdog dapat ay critical siya. No, sa mga nangyayari, nagtatanong siya, hindi lang sumusunod, sa sinasabi ng Comelec. So yan yung mahalaga, yung maging critical tayo. At kaya nga nakakatuwa na may mga grupo na tayo ngayon. Ngayon mayroon ng mga grassroots na mga tao na medyo nagsasalita na. Because that did not happen in 2010, 2013. Yung mga grassroots, parang hindi nila alam, hindi nila sasakyan. So ngayon nagsisimula na, sana kumalat pa ito. No, na talaga maintindihan ng mga tao para naman maging maayos ang ating eleksyon.
Maganda to. Hindi ho kaya trabaho ninyo sa public affairs yun, ng CBCP?
Kaya nga, yan nga. Kaya nga nandito ako.
Yeah, very good, very good. All right. Mabuti na maliwanag. Yes. Toti Casino has arrived. Please join us. We need another chair, please. Ngayon, dun ho sa mga nahuling dumating at ang sasabihin bakit puro lalaki kami rito. May kinumbida po kaming babae, kaya lang hindi po nakarating. How I wish she made it. Kaya lang What's the latest from the society? What's the latest? itong kontrobersya sa Smartmatic at iba pa?
Well, Dr. Nelson Celis already wrote in his column na our president, Leo Cherubin, had filed an opposition to the Bids and Awards Committee of COMELEC regarding Smartmatic's eligibility. Kasi lumalabas nga maraming mga provisions in the request for proposal that did not comply. Merong na shortcomings, hindi niya nakompleto yung mga requirements, and because of that, we're questioning why did they allow Smartmatic to still participate. And we all know the fact that Smartmatic is not the owner of the PICOS technology, it's Dominion. Second, the manufacturer of the hardware, it's not Smartmatic also, it's another third party based in China. So why give a contract worth 300 million plus another 900 million to Smartmatic when there are a lot of glitches and gaps that has happened in 2010, also in 2013, and then they awarded to them for 2015. And furthermore, there was no NCA. NCA is yung National Cash Notice of Cash Allocation, because if you look at the DBM GAA, General Appropriations Act of 2014, ang COMELEC wala siyang budget to bid for to December. So illegal yung ginawa nila, technically speaking.
Saan galing yung pera?
Good question. Pumasa sila ng GAA for 2015. We don't even know whether nandun na nga yung bid na yun. So paano nangyari, nag-bidding ka at wala kang budget? In government, we all know, you cannot subject that for bidding if you have the NCA, the Notice of Cash Allocations. And nag-i-issue yun, pag napasa ng Kongreso yung GAA, dadaan pa sa DBM yun, tapos iisahin nila yun, lahat ng mga appropriation.
Karoon ng NCA.
Ng NCA, ng DBM. It will take another 30 to 60 days bago ma-issue ng DBM ang NCA. So, if you look at the timeline, kung pumirma na ng Kongreso yung GAA for 2015 in December, end of December, dapat lalabas na yung NCA para sa COMELEC para mag-bid after February. Paano nangyari yung award nung December?
Okay, pero magre-retire si Chairman Brillantes ng
By
February 2. So, ano
bakit
kaya?
ba't niya minamadali?
There was a time, kasama namin si Gus Lagman. Sabi ko, was it more of a case of a golden parachute? Sabi niya, most likely.
Meron lang ako idagdag doon sa sinabi ni Toti. Hindi ka magbibidding kung wala kang SARO. SARO muna, bago bidding, then NCA.
What is SARO? Explain.
Sub-allotment release order. Alam ko yon because naghahawak ako ng SARO before.
Yan yung sinisirox sa DBM noon. Ano?
Yun yung
Tapos
sinisirok.
binibenta.
No, kasi this is your authority to bid eh. Parang authority mo yan to bid eh. Without the SARO, hindi ka pa magbibidding. Kung at the time na the budget was still to be signed, hindi pa mag-i-issue ng SARO ang DBM at that time. Bakit nagbibidding ka na?
Okay, I'd like to pose these questions to you lawyers. Binanggit ng ating kasamang si Toti, yung tungkol sa may isang third party from China, may isang bansa pa, ano yun?
Yung owner ng technology is not Smartmatic. Yung PICOS
Okay.
technology, it is owned by Dominion Voting System, which is based in Canada.
In Canada.
Yes.
All right.
So, other words, Smartmatic is just a reseller. Ang reseller po, ibig sabihin niyan, hindi siya proprietary owner. Siya yung, kumbaga, biniglan siya ng prangkisa or yung distributor. Parang nakikita natin sa mga cyber zone, sa yung mga dealer. Dealer lang siya.
Dealer lang. Pero mga abogado na naririto, hindi kaya delikado yung ating national interests kung itong mga bansang ito, may China kang binanggit eh. Meron kayong Canadian owned company. Hindi kaya nakasalalay dito yung soberenya ng bansa natin?
Definitely, nakasalalay yung sovereignty ng ating bansa dito. No? Pero I just want to confirm yung kay Toti na sinabi niya saan galing ang pera. Inamin ni Butch Abad during the Supreme Court hearing on the Disbursement Acceleration Plan the exact date is November 19, 2013. I was there in that hearing. Inamin ni Butch Abad na yung pera na yan ay galing sa DAP. Yung
Galing sa DAP.
Disbursement
I
Acceleration
think,
Plan.
Mel, that 4.2 billion na galing sa DAP is for the 2013 elections. Hindi sa 2015. This one, nagbibidding nga silang walang SARO at walang NCA. Now that's different because that's 4.2 billion in DAP funds was used in 2013. Yun yung sinasabi ni Mel. This one, wala pang budget sa 2015. Hindi pa na-sign, pero nag-proceed na siya for bidding. Nagmamadali nga eh. Kaya nga
The mere
midnight
fact
deal eh.
na wala pang pera, pumayag na yung kumpanya.
Kasi
eh di,
sigurado
ibig
sila.
Sigurado na.
Sigurado silang mananalo.
Wow, medyo mabigat ito. Yes, please.
Maganda itong kung aralin yung mga sequencing, ang unang tanong natin dyan bakit naibigay kay Smartmatic? Anong naging batayan? So, sinasabi mayroong extended warranty. Okay. Kailan yung extended warranty? October yun October 2014 na pinag-usapan, no? Na nag-decision sila. Bakit October? It could have been earlier pero October na ginawa. November 4 nagkaroon na ng start ng bidding process. November 4. December 22 na-aproban yung budget. December 22 On December 23 nilabas ng resolution. On December 26 nilabas na sa publiko. So inantay nila yung ma-aproban yung budget kasi sisilipin namin sila so in sequence October inaproban yung warranty. Bakit? Ba't mo aproban yan? Bakit pag-usapan yan? No? Kasi iniisip na nila, with this warranty, pag lumabas yung pera ngayon, kung may budget na, pwede nila i-go nila yan So, December, tapos pagdating ng November 4, start ang bidding. November 4 hanggang December 4 between that period, lumabas yung December 4 lang yun so nagtanggap na. Sabi nga ni isang dapat hindi nyo muna ginagawa yan dahil wala pa yung notice of wala pa yung SARO, wala pa yung notice of NCA, cash allocation, no? December 22 lumabas yung budget. December 23 nilabas yung resolution, Resolution supposedly supposedly awarding the refurbishment to Smartmatic without the bidding, in spite of the opinion of the Legal Department of Comelec na prudence dictates na dapat i-award yan. That's 300 million That's 300 million. Tapos, nag-file kami ng kaso. We filed the case December 9 to blacklist Smartmatic. It was dismissed a week after. Kaya anytime tomorrow we'll be going to the Supreme Court. Actually, nag-imar kami as a part of the due process. We'll be going to the Supreme Court to yung portion namin yung blacklisting. He mentioned, Tuti mentioned about a case being filed to disqualify.
An objection to the awarding.
Yun, so mayroon na. No? Tapos, another case will be filed by another group para doon sa disqualification. So we have the situation na in a span of almost 2 months lang, December, January ngayon. Magre-retire sa February, Ang daming ginagawa ng mga desisyon, So, ang daming kasong na tinatapon ngayon. So, ano mangyayari sa ating itong scheduling ngayon? Kung maraming mga legal impediments yan, lalong makakaproblema. Bakit nangyayari ito? Pinipilit ni Brillantes. Sana tumigil na lang siya. Katulad ng urgent call ng mabisap. Published the other day sa Majaryo na wag naman. Medyo maghunos dili naman kayo. At paubayan na yan sa susunod. Isang linggo na lang Paubayan sa susunod na. So that's the kind of Comelec that we're having right now.
Yes, dadagdagan pala ng ating kasama si Dr. Celis. Bago ako magtanong.
In fact, si Attorney Emerald Ladra, yung legal department head ng Comelec, was saying dapat dumaan sa bidding yan, yung sinasabi ni Mr. Diwa. Hindi yung i-award mo diretso or direct negotiation or negotiated contract dun sa sa Smartmatic. In fact, kung titignan mo rin, analyze mo yung refurbishment or repair ng maintenance, masyadong mahal yung 300 million. So, divided by 82,000, that's 3,000 pesos per Picos machine. But, do sa final testing and sealing na sinasabi ko kanina, yun ang yung diagnostics na ginagawa mo para malaman mo kung nagka-count ng tama o mali yung isang Picos machine. That's already diagnostics. Yung 300 million na sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes, diagnostics pa lang yun para malaman kung tumatakbo o hindi, o mali o tama ang bilang. Yung mismong final testing and sealing is already a way of diagnosing a Picos machine.
Okay. Maganda to. Pero hindi kaya dito sa mga issue natin ito na parang mako-question ano mangyayari sa eleksyon. Hindi kaya dumating yung pagkakataon na sabihin ni Presidente, hindi pa kayo magkasundo, I will stay muna in power. Hindi kayo magkasundo Yung eleksyon, tagilid O dito muna ako, ayusin muna natin to.
May I add, no?
Please.
As early as 2010, the Philippine Computer Society submitted a case with the Ombudsman signed by the former president, that's Dr. Nelson Celis at that time, that we were charging criminal and administrative charges against Comelec and Smartmatic for not complying to the law. We had a roundtable forum. We had all the different civil society, nandun ng NAMPREL, nandun ng Philippine Society. And then, pag-ipon-ipon na namin, yung mga glitches na nangyari noong 2010, which brings the issue na we had a president that is not elected by the people, but is elected by the PICOS. It's a big difference here, no? Why do we say it's elected by the PICOS? Because, one, dumating doon sa tanggapan ng opisina ni Senate President Enrile, being the chair of the Joint National Board of Canvassing, lahat ng mga transmission, no? Na ang total number of registered voters was 256 million. Mas malami pa siyang number of registered voters sa populasyon ng Pilipinas. That is highly questionable in terms of technology.
Ano, pakiulit? Anong bilang?
256 million of registered voters. Yung tinatawag niya lang CCS, yung Accounting and Consolidating System
Hindi kaya
Server.
galing sa India yun.
Yun na nga eh. Kaya nga namin kine-question nga ho yun. Kaya nga sinasabi mo, pag sinasabi nga nitong nakaupong presidente na ayusin mo na ito, hindi pa, mula pa lang sa pag-upo pa lang niya, may problema na noong 2010. Naulit-uli yan noong 2013, nung lumabas yung 60-30-10. Na doon pa lang sa unang lumalabas ng canvas, yung number 1 to 9, sila pa rin ang nagpepwesto hanggang sa 28th canvas, na maabot na doon ng mga from 800,000 votes counted to 20 million votes counted. Yung 9 positions, hindi nagbago sa buong Pilipinas. Kailan sa buong Pilipinas nagkaisang Pilipino bumoto ng siyam na pare-parehas ang kandidato. Tapos na lumabas yung report ng Technical Evaluation Committee, yung merong digital line, ipagsama mo na yun, ibig sabihin yan, ito yung digital line, ito yung 60-30-10, ibig sabihin, nakaprograma na ng mananalo, yung 9 talaga na yun.
Okay, ang tanong ngayon, kung dalawang eleksyon na itong ganito, Toti, hindi kaya merong superpower behind?
Ano na yan eh, field na ng political science po yan. Kami po, nasa field lang kami ng computer science. Pinapaliwanag lang namin, ang maaaring yung mga ganyang klaseng mga people behind the power that be, it's up to the political side. But of course, the answer to that question, yes.
Okay. Saan kaya galing yun? Yun ang tanong. Oh, baka po may gusto na magtanong sa mga kapatid natin sa media. Please go ahead. We'd like to give preference muna po sa media. Sandali po. Counting 1, counting 2, counting 3. Wala. Please. From civil society. Okay. Yes, please.
I'm also in media. Mary's Army Media Movement, you know. We've been hearing about this, but it seems that we keep getting the same answer. And the answer is to ignore us. So why even have an election? Why can't we just have an auction that the COMELEC auction the positions for sale? You know, we're all making fools of ourselves. And if we are being ignored, you know, the church has been harping on this. And it's frustrating. I don't even know how we sleep at night. This is a sacred ballots. The votes are being tampered. And really, the future of this country is at stake, and people are not even threatened, you know, by all of this. So I'm just asking the church through Bishop Pabilio. I know they're doing their part. Maybe not enough, you know. And also, I'm asking also the Computer Society, what are the plans? You know, it's almost, I mean, we started the year right with the visit of the Pope, and it's focusing on being righteous, being concerned, because whatever is being saved right now, they're saving billions, not to buy votes anymore. They're buying the operators of the PICOS. They're buying off, and this is by the billions. So this is something really very, very important, very crucial, as Bishop Pabilio said, and I agree with him totally,
Okay.
that this is something crucial, and what are we going to do about it?
Yeah. Will you be surprised, Madam, if Vice Ganda runs for the Senate and wins?
I wouldn't even go to personalities. What is important is we have the right to choose
Okay.
the right leaders, you know, never mind the quality of leaders, but right from the very beginning, you know, and since 2010, we've been hearing the
Yeah.
same people crying the same barking on the same tree and crying over these things, but we have been ignored,
Okay.
and that's the answer that we've been getting from them. Ignore and railroad again this coming election.
Okay. You know, it's very outstanding. You know, you have a non-working railroad and yet you talk of railroads. Bishop, would you please react?
I think if we can just focus together out with Smartmatic, kasi parang ang lahat ng itlog nila nasa Smartmatic eh. Kaya talagang pinaninindigan nila eh. No, pag mawala na yung Smartmatic, palagay ko we can breathe a new air. No, at makaasa tayo sa magandang eleksyon. But we have to come together. At yan kasama ang media. Kasama ang media para maipabataw sa mga tao. I think it's only the people who are crying out that they will listen to. No, hindi naman nakikinig ang ombudsman, hindi naman ang Senate, hindi nakikinig ang Supreme Court ng bagal-bagal, baka wala namang alam ang Supreme Court tungkol sa mga bagay na yan, mga technical na mga bagay. Kaya yung mga tao dapat, but the challenge is, how can we move the people that they will understand and see the seriousness of the problem? Yan ang dapat natin pagsama-samahan.
You know, sad to say, merong magagaling na taong hindi manalo-nalo eh. Yun ang isang masaklap. At ang nananalo, yung hindi mo alam kung saan nagmula. Kung saan hinugot, kung saan laman ng lupa nagmula. Ay, nako. Anyway, do we have questions on the floor? Wala pa. Okay, maraming mga sinusulat. Yes, please.
Itong mga cases na lumalabas noong 2010 and 2013 regarding the glitches ng mga PICOS machines, most of the lawyers na naririnig natin sa radyo, sa media, sasabihin nila, show us proof na merong gayaan. So kanina, sinabi ko na meron tayong evidences, yung mga 76,000 na CF cards na recall, at kung ano-ano pa, katulad ng mga evidences na meron si Atty. Glenn. Pero meron bang lawyer na nagtanong, nag-comply ba ang COMELEC sa Republic Act 9369? Marami tayong kakilala, well-known lawyers and senators na nagsasabi, show us proof but never ask the question, did COMELEC comply with Republic Act 9369 or automated election law? Nobody and nobody.
Let me state this for the record. Noong March 23, 2012, nag-hearing ho kami sa Senado. Marami ho kami doon. Kasama nga namin doon si Solita Monsid, if I remember. Pero nakaalis na ho siya nung pumasok si Senator Enrile. That's March 23, 2012. Pagpasok ho ni Senate President Enrile, challenge ho niya kaming lahat sa table, across him. Iniisa-isa kami tinawag. I remember nandun si Lito Atienza, nandun si Manny Piñol, Ebi Jimenez was there, Professor Muga was there. Iniisa-isa niya, prove to me that someone is sitting in public office by virtue of cheating. Hindi ho niya ako nakita kasi magkahilera kami. So I wrote a note to Coco, Senator Coco, and sinabi ko doon sa note, I'm taking up the Senate President's challenge. E nung binasa ho niya, gumanyan ho si Senate President, sabi niya, do you mean I won by cheating? Eh, ang sagot ko sa kanya ganito, Mr. Senate President, with due respect, we have seen how you have handled the impeachment proceedings and you have handled it like a true statesman. Kahit mag-eleksyon ho tayo ngayon din, from Luzon to Mindanao, hindi ho kayo kailangan mandaya. Alam ko mananalo at mananalo kayo. Eh, sabi niya, sige, you go ahead, you answer my question. So I had the entire 30 minutes to myself. Nandun yung 7 commissioner led by the white-haired Brillantes. And then, I had 30 minutes. Inayos ko lahat, from manual to cheating in the 2010 election, so ito lahat. Iniisa-isa ko yung ebidensya for 30 minutes and they never rebutted me. And I even saw the head of Brillantes gumaganon. So I took the opportunity. Sabi ko, Mr. Senate President, let me point out to you, the head of the chairman of the COMELEC is nodding in agreement to what I am saying. I rest my case. And then tumawa si Senator Enrile and sinabi niya, Chairman, Commissioner Larrazabal, sagutin mo to. Ito ho ang sagot ni Commissioner Larrazabal. Your Honor, can we answer that in executive session? Ayaw ho nilang marinig namin kung ano ang sagot nila. So pinalabas ho kami lahat. By the way, Gus Lagman was there, but he was made to go out earlier. So hindi na nakasali si Gus Lagman doon sa loob. So nung lumabas kami, may isa pang senador pumasok, sinabi niya, "Huwag kang umalis, makinig ako for you." After 30 minutes, paglabas niya, hinugot niya yung kamay ko, papuntang elevator sa Senado. Kaming dalawa lang sa loob ng Senado. Nagmura pa nga siya, sabi niya, "Tangina pare, inadmit ng COMELEC, the only way to explain your case is fraud." And I stand by that statement na sinabi ng kaibigan ko, Senador.
Buhay pa yung senador.
Buhay na buhay ang senador na yan.
Hindi nakakulong yung senador.
Hindi ho nakakulong ang senador.
At least maliwanag. Okay.
There was already an admission at that time. But they are not willing to admit it publicly.
Okay. Looking forward, what do you see?
So mayroon ako ditong 5 kopya kung sinong gusto. Yung sulat namin ng mga obispo, no, na pinadala namin sa COMELEC. Kumuha lang kayo dyan. No? And then, alam po natin na mayroon ng grupo na nagka-camp out doon sa COMELEC. Mga 7 araw na yan. Sana naman masuportahan pa natin sila. At sana naman, yung media, palagi nyo namang ifo-focus. No, para mabuhayan yung mga tao at makita may problema rito. May mga nangangahas ng to put themselves at stake para rito. No, so, yan, that's a small move. Kung dumami pa yung tao, mag-snowball ito, no, at saka yung media, maglagay din ng coverage yan. Palagi matutulungan natin yung bansa. No, just for the sake of the country. No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bishop. Attorney Mel and Attorney Glenn, do you think that kung paniniwalaan ko lahat ng sinabi ninyo tungkol dun sa Magic noong 2013, do you think na pinag-aralan nila kung sino dapat ang manalo para walang magreklamo?
Halata naman kung yung isa anak ni Vice President Binay. Yung isa is a very close ally of Senator Enrile. So talagang, ito yung mga taong binigay na sa kanila position para hindi na umangal. Tapos yung 60-30-10 pattern na yan, talagang is very difficult to explain unless it doesn't happen in real life, yung ganyang klaseng pattern. No? Pero I wish to point out na 7 years na po akong lumalaban dito sa ako na read it. Ikaw na nagbasa. 7 years. 2008 pa lang, ang bumabati ko sa PICOS, by the way, noong 2008, sinong bumabati ko sa PICOS? Tayong lahat hindi Ang number 1 na critic ng PICOS is Smartmatic. Yung Smartmatic mismo, binabatikos niya ang PICOS kasi iba ang binibenta niya noon. Touchscreen ang binibenta niya. Tapos, pagdating ng 2009, bumaliktad yung Smartmatic. Siya naman nagsasabing napakaganda ng PICOS. Kasi PICOS na ang binibenta na Smartmatic. So what is the reason for the turnaround? The only common denominator here is pera-pera lang Kung ano yung mas mabenta, yun ang pinupush ng Smartmatic. So nakakapagod na, 7 years na yung laban. So may nakakalimutan na aspeto dito kasi sa overpricing tayo nagko-focus Meron ding another aspect dito, yung overspending. Na si Chairman Brillantes, nangako siya that before he retires, he will release all the decisions on political overspending. Remember that Laguna Governor Ejercito. Mas maraming worse sa kanya. And actually, ang nakakalungkot dito, out of the approximately 17,000 elective officials in the Philippines, from president down to the lowest Sangguniang Bayan member, 80% nun ay nag-overspend. And that's a conservative estimate. Since only 20% is left in the government, that means we have no quorum. We have no government today. We are run by disqualified elective officials. Ganon kalala ang situation natin ngayon. And COMELEC was given 10 days from January 20 until January 30 to release that list of election overspenders. Kaya hindi nire-release yun dahil alam nila mauubos ang gobyerno. That's how bad the situation is right now.
Hindi naman kaya ganyan ang inyong paninindigan hindi kayo na-appoint sa gobyerno? O di kaya kakampi kayo ng mga nakalipas na administrasyon?
Definitely hindi po kasi I'm still with the government right now. Pwede ko i-claim yung pwesto na binibigay sa akin na supply officer. Gusto akong gawin chief supply officer. And that was offered to me by Brillantes, and I can take that position and be an instant millionaire. The supply office is the equivalent of the Bureau of Customs in Comelec. I can become an instant millionaire anytime now. I'll just accept that position.
Really? Yes.
Kami po sa Philippine Cooperage Society, we have been consistently apolitical and non-partisan. The reason we've been saying all of this, because this is our industry, this is our sector, and we know the practice. Now, we know in the industry, there is no single entity that was given a contract by the size of 7 or 10 billion pesos for that matter. Even the big banks, mga BPI, mga malalaking bangko rin, pag bumibili sila ng mga computer sa mga IBM, ganyan, malaki ng 800 million. Pero pag pinapatakbo nila yun, pinapagana nila, katulad yung mga ATM nakikita nyo, gumagana ng maayos, pero pulidong pagkagawa. Kaya ang champion namin sa Philippine Society, na pinagmamalaki namin na lahat ng mga IT professionals na Pilipino, magagaling. Pero ngayon, ito yung mga dayuhan, ginagawa kaming mangmang. Kaya nga naiinsulto kami dito sa aming industriya na sino kayong magsasabi sa amin na hindi namin naintindihan ang ginagawa namin. Unang-una sa lahat, nagkamali na sila sa project management. Alam natin na, yung sinasabi nga ni Dr. Celes kanina, na 1 week before election noong 2010, yung CF cards pumapalpak, mali-mali na ang bilang. So yun pa lang, hindi na sila maayos sa quality control. And then after election, ano nakita natin? Nakita natin may mga ibang election returns, iba-iba ang petsa na hindi May 10, mas maaga. At alam din natin na meron na nakup-kup na 60 plus PICOS machines sa Antipolo na may kasamang bigan. So sa amin, pag inintindi mo yung hinambing mo yung mga pangyayari na yan, maaaring nagkaroon na ng mga pandaraya na ginawa na ng mga operator. Kasi isa pa, tinanggal pa nga nila yung UV scanner doon sa PICOS machine para malaman kung yung balota ay originally printed by NPO or not. So lahat ng mga security measures tinanggal. So lahat yung mga yan, ang sinasabi namin sa lokohan na to, mula pala sa 20. Pero ang tingin sa amin, parang gaya ng sinasabi nyo ho, na siguro kakampi kami ng dating administrasyon, kaya kami nandito. Yun ang hirap eh. Yung aming mga pananalita, ginagawa nilang parang, hindi, dati, hindi pa nila pinapakinggan ang aming hangarin dito.
Toti, let me ask you, bakit pag nag-transact ako sa ATM at nag-balance inquiry ako, tatanungin ako ng ATM, gusto ko ba ng resibo? Pag sinabi kong yes, may resibong lalabas. Bakit doon, sa pagboto ko noong 2010, ang lumabas lang, pagpasok ng aking balota, congratulations, you have already voted?
Magandang tanong ho yan, ano? Kasi ho, nakalagay doon sa, bakit ganon? Una, sinasabi na nga ni Nelson, compliant ba ang COMELEC dito sa batas? Nakalagay po doon sa section 6 or almost number 7 siya, yung minimum system configuration. Nakalagay doon, dapat may feature yung programa na yung binoto ng botante lalabas. Kaya nga sinasabi mo, humingi ka ng resibo, yung transaction mo. Hindi hindi lumabas nga yun. So, bakit nga hindi lumawa yun? Para madali ang dayaan.
Hindi, kinapun ba talaga ng COMELEC yun? Was
Kinapun,
it through a resolution?
No, was it?
786 and 9640. The removal of the digital signature was done through Resolution 8640 and 87, 86 in 2010 and 9640. Resolution 9640 in 2013. The digital signature.
Yung voter verification, yung boto.
Kasama doon. Indirectly. Kasama doon. Actually, the way I illustrate this removal of the four security features, ganito ho yun. Ang PICOS ho parang bahay. May front door ho siya. Sabi ho ng batas, itong 4 na front door, ilock mo yan palagi. Ito yung digital signature, yung UV lamp, yung voter verification, yung resibo, at yung source code review. So, sabi ng batas, ilock mo yung 4 na door lock na yan palagi ha. Ang ginawa ho ng COMELEC, inopen ho yun isa-isa. Para ho, pag eleksyon, open ho yung door. So yung operator, papasok doon kasi open ang door, walang lock eh. Pagpasok, nanakawin ng boto, lalabas, isasara ang pintuan. Eh dahil walang forcible entry, sasabihin natin walang daya. Oh, pero naubos na yung boto mo sa loob, nanakaw na. Yun, that's the basic portrayal of these 4 security features. 4 na door lock, tinanggal ng COMELEC isa-isa para madaling mapasok ng mandaraya.
Natatanda ko kasi noon, may binoto kong kapatiran, hindi nag-reflect doon sa presinto. Eh.
Si Mel, may idadagdag daw siya.
Yung pagkapon na yun, definitely kinapon yan by not printing it out kasi dapat lalabas yan sa isang thermal paper.
Precisely.
Ang ginawa, parang toilet paper yung thermal paper natin. Eh. Napakahaba, umaabot ng 3 meters, 4 meters. Malalaman mo yung resulta ng binoto mo, siguro closing of voting hours na and wala ng tao. At least man lang dapat ang ginawa ng Smartmatic, dinisplay sa screen yung binoto mo. Kung ayaw magbigay ng paper, at least i-display sa screen.
Mas maganda may resibo para kung may magpuprotesta, malilikom yun at ipakikita.
Ang rason naman kasi ng COMELEC dyan, kasi bawal ho yung ebidensya na binuto dito kasi bakit vote buying yun. Yun ang kanilang palusot.
Maganda rin yung intensyon.
Oo, mali intensyon. Pero wala pa rin verification kung ikaw yung botante na malalaman mo kung yung boto mo nga nabilang nga o hindi. Para, gaya sinasabi mo sa ATM, meron kang, maski yung botante, ito ba yung mga binoto mo, tama ba o mali? Pag mali, i-reject mo. Hindi binila nung PICOS yung boto ko dahil hindi naman ang binoto ko. So walang option yung botante na i-reject. Kaya nga tinatanggap na lang ng makina yung balota.
Okay.
Mel, yung sinasabi ni Tote, yun na, tama naman yung sinabi ng COMELEC na kung may papel nga doon, may resibo, baka dadalhin mo sa labas, ipakita mo doon, ito yung binoto ko, sana yung pera ko. That's a valid reason. But we can do away with that. Meron tayong maraming yellow, old box. Lagay mo sa gilid. Pag tingin ng botante, satisfied siya, ipasok mo doon sa yellow box. Prior to the transmission of the results, bigay mo yan sa accredited group sa labas. You count it manually. Then paglabas ng resulta, kukumpare natin. There you have transparency.
Hindi, matagal daw yun eh.
Hindi.
Mabagal daw yun.
Hindi naman lahat ng pangalan eh. Yung senador, hindi na kailangan presidente, vice-presidente, congressman, governor, mayor. Ito yung mandaya eh. Pero yung mga collegial, hindi na.
All right.
Kanina.
Do we have a question from the floor?
If, Mel,
Yes, please. Sige po.
If I
Sandali
may-
lang, sandali lang.
sa question, kung meron ba kaming vested interest, ano? Kami po, as mentioned by Toti, wala ho kaming vested interest dito. In fact, kami po sa Philippine Computer Society, mga officers, were members of the technical working group who crafted the Senate bill for RA 9369. Kami ho yung gumawa ng batas. Kami ho nag-draft ng batas. Kaya alam ho namin yung detalye. Kailangan meron yan source code review. Meron yan digital signatures. May BBPAT yan. May random. Lahat po yon yung mga safety measures na yun. Galing po yun sa Philippine Computer Society na inadapt po ng Kongreso. Kaya kami po, wala kaming vested interest. Ang gusto po namin sa Philippine Computer Society, magkaroon po ng transparent, secure elections, specifically for this forthcoming 2016 elections. Wala ho kaming vested interest yan. Kami po ang gumawa. Kami po ang nag-ano ng batas para sa 9369. In fact, COMELEC, 8 years ago, they haven't prepared the implementing rules and regulation of RA 9369. Section 37 of RA 9369, it was stipulated therein that the rules and regulations should be promulgated by COMELEC. Until now, none. Nada.
Nada. Pero, nakapun eh. Maganda yung batas niyo eh. Kinapun eh. Oh, anyway.
Kasi yung batas na yun, mahirap madaya kung talagang susundin mo yung batas.
Okay. So, hindi mo naman i-impeach yung mga gusto mong i-impeach dahil magre-retire na. Yun ang problema. Questions from the floor, please. Sige. Then we have another question from the other side. Yes, please.
Ako nga pala si Mr. Jimmy Lasaka, representing the Blas Oakley Training Policy Center and the OFW sa Riyadh. Actually, member din kami ng Philippine Computer Society, ang COMSOPHIL, Computer Society of Filipinos, which is an awardee of the Philippine Presidential Banag Award last 2010.
Yes, please.
So I am the 2009 president of the COMSOPHIL, and now I'm running the Data Pill, also a member of Philippine Computer Society in Riyadh. So you can check that one, sir, on your...
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, ang tanong ko is, bakit kailangan natin mag-spin ng 300 million para sa maintenance ng Hocus Picus machine?
The PCOS machines.
PCOS machine. Okay. Ang machine naman is hindi naman yan ginagamit natin for a longer period of time. Ginagamit lang natin for election purposes. So bakit kailangan natin i-maintenance pa yan? So nakita ko kasi as an electrical, electronics, computer practitioner, at the same time an renewable energy practitioner, nakita ko kasi na yung PCOS machine is talagang mayroong hocus-pocus doon. Kasi naka-ano na yan eh, pwede nating i-program. As a computer expert, kahit burahin pa natin yung naka-program na yan ng 10 times, I can
Pwede ibalik.
open.
Ako, baka hindi ka na umalis sa Pilipinas niyan. Baka may kumuha na sa'yo. So, ang question is,
So, ang
tama
tanong
ba
ko,
yung 300 million?
Bakit kailangan pa nating magastos ng 300 million?
In the first place, bakit ba i-maintain pa yan? Hindi ba dapat bumili na lang ng bago dahil outmoded na yan?
Tama yun, Mel. Dapat yun. I-junk na yung PCOS machines na yun.
Pangalawa,
Actually, ang useful life ng computers, laptops, 3 years. Kami sa bangko, dinodonate na namin yan after 3 years. Yung mga servers, 5 years. Magsi 6 years na yan by 2016. Talagang mas marami pang magiging problema may encounter tayo by that time. Hindi lang sa obsolete yun.
Okay.
Okay, another question para kay Bishop. Bishop, bakit hindi na kailangan pa natin ng mga bidders coming from outside? Mayroon naman tayong mga Filipino expert sa Philippine Computer Society. Marami tayong Pilipino na pwede mag-create ng program para sa clean election. So walang magiging hocus-pocus sa election.
Okay. Thank you.
Kaya nga talaga sabi natin, bago pa mag-election, yung may ginawa tayong Filipino for Filipino. Ano yun? Fit for E na ginawa na. At alam ko, nandun din si Brillantes nung simula pa lang siya. No? Ay, wag ko lang, ba't hindi nila kinuha yung kwa na yun na may Filipino expertise naman tayo?
Actually, si Chairman Brillantes was not yet confirmed at that time, nung 2011. So kami ni na Bishop Pabilio doon sa University of the Philippines, nilaunch namin yung Fit4E, yung Filipino IT for Elections. Pumayag si Chairman Brillantes, susuportahan namin yan, yung Filipino-made technology. Pero nung na-confirm, wala na po. Ganun lang ho kasimple yun.
Okay, so baka nagkaroon ng amnesia. I will give it to him.
Sandali lang, can we refrain from questions that will be answerable by the COMELEC lang? Kasi wala rin eh. Walang COMELEC dito.
Okay,
Huwag na tayo
okay.
magtanong tungkol sa COMELEC.
Sige, okay.
By the way, yung canvassing and consolidation system, meron hong ginawa si former Gas Lagman, COMELEC Commissioner Gas Lagman, doon sa COMELEC. And COMELEC only spent 600 million for that CCS. 600,000. 600,000, sorry. And ano nangyari doon sa dinevelop? Kasi kumuha rin ng programmer from the Department of Science and Technology at saka sa internal IT department. At nagawa nila at napatakbo. Pero nang pinipresent na ni former COMELEC Commissioner Gas Lagman doon sa NBank, ito, pwede na natin gamitin ito sa 2013. Tumatakbo ito, Filipino-made ito. Ano sabi nung anim? Ay, hindi pwede. Wala naman sa batas na kailangan gumamit ka ng bago na hindi pa tested. So, kailangan ang gamitin nating CCS, yun na test na. So, sayang din yun. Ano? Pero kami sa 2016, mas maganda sana kung magamit natin yung dinevelop ni former COMELEC Commissioner Gas Lagman sa 2016. I-test lang ho natin para makita natin kung talagang tumatakbo yun. Pero kami naniniwala, yun from the heart at talagang yun magbibigay ng magandang resulta para sa bayan.
Thank you.
Thank you for your indulgence, gentlemen. Pero may question po ako kay Bishop. And then another one to the whole group. Bishop, thank you for your communication sa COMELEC. Pero ang tanong ko po, hindi ba more than 100 ang bishops? Bakit po 25 lang kayong nakapirma? At saka ano po yung konteksto ng pagkakalabas ninyo ng sulat na yan? That's my question to you. Kasi po, isang panukala din, or perhaps if you would mind, yung pong posibilidad na magkaroon ng pastoral letter na babasahin sa simbahan para ilabas ang posisyon ng simbahan tungkol sa mga usaping ito, nang yung mga tao ay mabigyan talaga ng awareness, katulad ng ginagawa natin pagka nananalangin tayo, tuwing linggo binabasa yung mga prayers o di kaya ay yung mga concerns. Kasi ang isa sa mga gusto nating maipaalam sa tao ay yung posisyon ng ating mga moral leaders. Ngayon po, sa the rest of the gentlemen, ano naman po ang inyong take mula sa transmission, kasi you're technical experts and computer experts, magmula sa boto na bibilangin upang hindi madaya o maging transparent, at sana yung mga watchdogs na dapat na italaga at nag-apply man naging watchdogs ay talaga maging tunay na watchdogs at hindi lapdogs.
Okay.
Yung sa akin, nagmamadali kasi kami. Kasi binigay sa akin yan mga Lunes na. So, Martes, ginawa yung sulat. So, iyan lang yung nalapitan ko. But I'm sure if I had more enough time, marami magpipirma dyan. In fact, yan, konti lang yan. Umikot lang siya. Tapos na, yung binigay kaagad. Kasi gusto sana namin mahabol yung NBank na meeting ng Comelec. Kasi natatakot kami, baka aprubahan na kaagad. No? Tapos yung tungkol sa pastoral letter para sa lahat, yan po hindi namin magagawa kasi yan ay dapat gawin lang ng either permanent council ng CBCP na nagmi-meeting pa yan sa April, no, na para gawin yon, no. Pero hindi po hindi ko pwedeng gawin yan, no. Kaya dapat yan ay pagmi-meetingan pa, no. So wala nang time para diyan, no.
Pero na-expect po kayo sagot mula sa Comelec?
Ewan ko lang. Yan, may appeal kami. Ewan ko lang. Wala pa silang sinasabi sa amin. Ibinigay na sa kanila yan nung Biyernes yata. Oo.
Papa Bishop, meron pong batas na pag hindi sumagot sa inyo, pwede nyo kasuhan. Ethical practices po yun. Unethical yan. Yes, please.
Ako po si Nick Elman ng Workers Alliance Against Corruption. In regard dun sa kanina ni Mr. Acuña, sa tanong mo kanina, at saka yung vested interest, no? Actually, kung titingnan kasi natin ang kabuuan, hindi Pilipino lang ang may control nito eh. Para sa amin, no, sa mga gagawa, yung presence dito ng Smartmatic is a manifestation of foreign control. No, same thing that the election, since time immemorial, historically, has been manipulated by the foreign control. Bakit? Kasi gusto nila rito yung foreign policy, yung especially financial life, economic life ng foreign power ay manatili rito at makuha through election. So, kaninong vested interest ito? I believe that sa inyo rito, wala kayong vested interest dyan. No, neither the Filipino people. Ngayon, ang may vested interest dito, ang foreign capital, no? Yung Smartmatic and other. So ako, gusto ko lang sanang itanong, no? Paano nyo titingnan yung presence and control dito ng foreign capital? Yun lang po. Thank you.
All right. Papel, foreign capital sa eleksyon. Let's be more candid about it. Let's ask the lawyers and our responsible resource persons. With the coming issues on the South China Sea and the business we have with China and America and some other countries, do you think these countries would play a role come 2016?
May I? Actually, if we recall back on 2010, hindi pa tapos yung bilangan at meron pa mga issue yung sa mga results na generate. We saw on the papers na pumasok si then U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines,
Harry Thomas.
And we figured medyo kami sa improper. Bakit niya pupuntahan at kiko-congratulate? We're going to question the accuracy and legitimacy of the results. Pero bago kami naman, naunahan na kami. So, why is there a foreign dignitary approaching, congratulating a presidential candidate that has not yet been proclaimed? With raises suspicion, if there is such, an invisible hand trying to dominate our sovereignty, that is not remote. And then later on, nakita na natin yung mga progresibo na Spratly was being taken over by China, etc. As the events took place later on forward run, alam din natin, not very long after the election, nagkaroon ng stand dyan sa Quirino Grandstand. How many nationals, foreign nationals were eliminated? About 8 Chinese nationals. So probably that's a retaliation by the Chinese government because the Chinese government was just requesting for an apology. So even yung ating present administration, the way they're responding to foreign issues doesn't seem to be coinciding to what is the general climate. Parang ano lang tayo eh. Napapasubo na lang tayo. And I don't know whether the person sitting in the office of the president is qualified to be a representative of the Filipino people.
Okay, that's another case. Yes, please.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Gigi Peralta, Secretary General of the Anti-Trapo Movement of the Philippines and member of Huwag Kang Magnakaw Movement na convener po ang two institutions na to under COMELEC Greed Coalition. Maraming salamat po, Bishop Pabilio. Nare-recognize niyo po ang aming effort sa 10-day camp out dyan. Actually, ako po ay natutuluho ng 24 na sa gabi. Together with my husband, Caleon Peralta. Maraming salamat din po sa paghihikayat ninyo sa mga media para po mabigyan naman po kami ng pansin na nandiyan po kami. I would like to address this question po sa ating kagalang-galang na former Congressman Glenn Chong. Sir, earlier na-mention niyo po ang tungkol sa Louis Vuitton boy at saka si Louis Vuitton lady. Sir,
Yes,
pwede po bang ibulong niyo sa akin? Tayo lang naman po ang nandito. Para po, paki-expound niyo po ang tungkol po sa Louis Vuitton bag na yan. Maraming salamat po.
Everything is on the record. There is no such thing as ibubulong.
Nung sa DZMM, tinanong ako, nung Saturday ho, thank you ma'am, tinanong ako ni Henry Umaga Diaz kung under what circumstances ba yung bayaran doon sa Northern Luzon that I was talking about. So ang sinabi ko siya, the lady was explaining to me na yung 27,850,000 na binayad niya, kasi nga ho, tatakbo siyang gobernador. 50 million ho yung price sa kanya. Yung anak ho niya, 15 million, tumakbong mayor. So 50 plus 15 is 65 million. Yun yung total price ng contract nila for the two offices, governor at mayor. Eh ang kalakaran ho, 50% down payment, 50% discount, 50% upon proclamation. Eh di 65 million, 50% is 32,500,000. Eh yung kumasa ho dun sa Louis Vuitton, natandaan ko yung Louis Vuitton na bag kasi nasakote siya sa airport eh. Tinanong pa siya, ma'am, ano ho kayo? OFW? Kasi ang mga OFW daw, pag dumating dito, may perang dala doon sa bag. Yung mga pinapadala doon sa labas na hindi dumadaan sa courier. Kaya napagkamalan siyang OFW. Hindi ko man limutan yung Louis Vuitton bag. Ang laman is 27,850,000. Kulang ho yun sa 32,500,000 na 50% down payment.
Ba't kulang po?
Kasi kulang na nga rin ho yung kwarta niya, pera niya. Tapos, yun lang talaga ang laman ng Louis Vuitton. Eh, nung sinabi ko ho itong Louis Vuitton lady, ikinonfirm naman ni James Jimenez. Sinabi niya, mukhang kilala ko yan ah. O di nga pala, kilala mo pala si Louis Vuitton lady. Why didn't you investigate? Sabi niya, pumunta yan doon sa office namin, pero hindi na bumalik. Eh, sa pagkakaalam ko ho, ang nagbigay ho ng at least with respect to the Louis Vuitton bag and the Louis Vuitton lady, kinonfirm yan ni James Jimenez. Alam pala nila yun. So hindi ako nagsisinungaling. Oh, including the amount. Now, alam ko, sa pagkakaalam ko, ang tumanggap sa kabilang side, si Louis Vuitton boy. Kasi alam ko, boy ang tumanggap eh.
Pwede niyo po bang kilalanin itong Louis Vuitton boy at Louis Vuitton lady?
Meron ng constitutional provision against self-incrimination.
Hindi, ang sinabi ko kay Henry Umaga Diaz, the proper forum would be this hearing ngayong February 5. sa Senate. If they will require me to answer, I will name all those names, including the one na kumausap sa akin for Boy Brillantes noong 2013 elections. Plus, meron din ho kaming ipapakita na nung mga balota, yung mga ballot images na pinakita nila sa amin noong December 12 to 15 dyan sa Comelec Intramuros, may picture ho ako sa 13 laptops na inopen nila all together. Pagdating ko doon, pagtingin ko sa ballot images, I know, peke yun lahat. Umalis na ako, hindi na ako bumalik. Di ba sinabi ko sa iyo, huwag ka nang bumalik dyan, peke yan. Gagamitin lang tayo. Sa February 5, ilalahad namin yung ebidensya that it is Comelec actually faking these ballot images. Sila ang gumagawa ng mga faking ballot images.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much. All right.
Sir, meron lang ako idagdag yung sa sinabi kanina. Kung with respect to the different foreign interest controlling us, may sa tingin ko dalawa ho yung mode of negotiation. Pwede hong ideological, issue-based tayo. Like ako, palagay natin ako for the Chinese government, kausapin ko si Mel for the Philippine government. Ganito, di ba, sa eleksyon. Pwede tayong ideology-based, yung issue sa pag-usapan natin, o pwede hong pera-pera din. Kung pikus ang gagamitin, mas malamang pera-pera ang kalakaran. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, Bishop, pasensya na ha, when money talks, even angels listen.
Nako ha. Masaya yan.
Melo. Good morning. My name is Bel Cunanan. I used to be
Welcome back.
Salamat po. I used to be Inquirer columnist for 25 years and now I'm in the blog, I'm in Facebook. Alam niyo po, I would like to address my remarks to Bishop Pabilio, Your Grace. Kagabi po, when I saw this list of 25 names, bishops' signatures on that petition to stop the enforcement of this contract between Smartmatic and Comelec on the ground that these two, that the chairman of the Comelec is already, 1 week away from retirement, and so they are asking that the decision be left to the incoming officers. So we were all rejoicing, Bishop, and I quickly, bago ako matulog, sinigurado ko na lumabas yung little post ko sa Facebook about that I called it a very happy development dahil alam niya na nagka-camp out kami sa Intramuros and this is like a ray of sunshine, you know, for us. Now, immediately, Bishop, mga siguro 2 minutes bago pakatapos lumabas yung maiksi kong post, meron ng mga tanong. Isa si Joey De Vela, sabi niya, Tita Bel, meron bang pumirma na ba si, as you can expect, Cardinal Tagle and Archbishop Villegas? Sabi ko, Joey, mukhang hindi, this is strictly limited to the bishops only. The bishops are the vanguards of the church. Mukhang yung higher-ups, hindi pa nakaka-include dito sa mga listahan na ito. Perhaps, papunta na sila doon. And I cannot imagine that the hierarchy, the higher-ups of the CBCP will not be in communion with the vanguards of the church, meaning the officials on the ground, the respective bishops. Archbishop Pabilio, ano nyo nga po, bakit daw po wala pa hanggang ngayong resolution ang CBCP on a matter as life-threatening as this issue? Wala na po yatang pinakamatinding issue sa bansa ngayon kundi ito dahil malapit na po yung election, a year to go.
Yeah.
Alam niyo po, hindi naging bahagi ito ng agenda namin. Kasi yung mga agenda, na-set na yan ng mga October pa. No? Kaya hindi ito naging bahagi ng agenda namin. Kaya ito, ang mapagpapapirma nito, yung malalapitan ko lang ng mga obispo. Sabi ko kanina, nagmamadali kami kasi gusto naming mahabol sana na bago sila magdesisyon, mailabas yung kwan. Kaya yung nakuha ko lang ng mga obispo, yan lang naibigay namin. No, but it was not discussed.
Imagine po kung na-discuss ito ilang araw, siguro the whole CBCP would be included already there. Dahil 25, imagine, last minute to ito.
Kaya nga, kung may time pa sana kung may paiikot sa at mas marami pa. I'm sure. Kasi yung mga nilapitan ko, mabilis silang pumirma. Ibig sabihin, alam nila yung
Oh,
issue.
yes. So ano po ang pwede nating masabi sa ating mga mamamayan? Dadating pa po ba yun? Yung araw na makita natin yung buong CBCP from the highest official now is, well, aside from Archbishop Villegas, who's the president, then you have the 2 cardinals, no?
Ay, ang problema, yung meeting naman, next meeting namin, July na naman yan eh.
Nako.
No, bago mapag-usapan.
Wala
But-
po bang emergency, such a thing as an
wala.
emergency meeting?
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Melo. Thank you, Archbishop. Archbishop.
Thank you very much. Salamat po. Okay. Mga kaibigan, hanggang dito na po lamang ang ating pagtatanghal. How I wish we had more time, but we thank you for being with us dito sa Tapatan sa Aristocrat. I'd like to thank Nandi for the hospitality. Maganda po itong sandwich natin ngayon at ang topic at ang kape walang humpay. So maraming salamat po hanggang sa susunod na edisyon ng ating Tapatan sa Aristocrat. Have a nice time.